it really works for me. I love how it's planned, but it's also flexible and it's a nice balance. Welcome back to my channel. Today I needed to meal plan. So I thought that I would share how I meal plan. And the way that I meal plan, it took a lot of work in the beginning to set it up, but now it's super easy, but it's also flexible. When I decided I was going to make like a monthly meal plan, I tried that, but then I didn't like having to follow it. I needed a more flexible meal plan. So like 5 meal plans later, I finally come up with something that works for me, where I feel like if I don't want to be flexible, it is already done. And if I do want to try something new or do something different, it's easy enough to do that. So I am going to show you what I do. I printed off my spreadsheet that I use in Google Sheets. I don't usually print it off when I'm using it. I just sit at my computer. And what I did was I have a 4-week meal plan, and I divide my categories by meat. So like we only have beef once a week, chicken, sausage, or another meat like ham. We have a meatless meal, and then I have an any category, which means obviously you can do anything. A lot of times the any might be a freezer meal like frozen fish or frozen pizza or just whatever we have. We do frozen ravioli sometimes, or we might eat out, or we might have leftovers, or we might eat at a friend's house or a family's house or whatever like that. So that's what that category is for. So I am going to turn the camera around and show you what the meal plan I made looks like for us. This is what my spreadsheet looks like. At the top I have the week of, and honestly I never used this. Originally I was going to print it out and just use the same meal plan every week, but I decided not to do that because it wasn't flexible enough for me, and also if I printed this out it would have a lot of information on it that I don't need. So the way that this works is that for each week I have a category. I do my categories by the meat because we only have each meat once a week usually. So we have beef, chicken, sausage, other meat, meatless, and any. And then and then what I did was I took some of our favorite meals that we make most frequently, and every meat has at least 2 options for that week, except for where it doesn't because I haven't finished filling it in yet. But that's the idea. So like until this morning when I added these 2, because we had a couple of new ones we've been using more often, I had meatloaf or cheeseburger soup for this week, and then sloppy joes or chili for that week, spaghetti or cheeseburger, macaroni, and tacos and burritos. I didn't even put another option because I always want tacos. And then the same thing with chicken. Most days have 2 options. This one we have creamy chicken, black bean soup, or barbecue chicken and bacon wrap. So when I sit down to meal plan for the week and write my grocery list, I decide, okay, do I want sloppy joes or chili? Do I want soup, barbecue chicken and bacon? Do I want ham and cheese sliders? Or do I want a sweet pan meal? So that's how it works, and that's how it's already planned for me, and it's narrowed down to just a couple of options, but it's also flexible, so it's not the same meal every 4 weeks. What I do in a meal planning is I go and I have a separate sheet that I print out, which is this one, and I will write the week, and then I write the categories in, and I write down which one I've chosen. And the second row, which I didn't mention over here, the second row in the option is like the side dishes, and that's the same here. So this is the main dish, this is the side dish. So I might put broccoli there, or rice, or whatever it is we're having to go with that meal. Sometimes I plan out more than 1 week at a time, but I usually do just one, because what happened last this week actually, this is how we ended the week. The day before I go shopping, I still haven't made these 3 meals because we had so many leftovers. I haven't used all that, so I didn't want to waste what I already had. So I used, these 2 are the same as 2 things from the week before because we hadn't used it yet. So that's why I like only writing it out one at a time. I also go shopping once a week, so there's not a lot of point in planning super far in advance. And I always make sure when I'm planning, I write down anything that I need to remember to do that's not just one big meal of the day. So I have to take breakfast for church one day. And then sometimes if I have to make a dessert or we have a family holiday or birthday, I write down what I'm taking for that so I don't forget to write what I need on my grocery list. Like I said, it takes a little time to set up in the beginning because you have to go through your recipes and arrange them. I try to make sure that we don't have like potatoes 3 times a week or rice or pasta. I try to spread it out and make the sides different, make the mostly the carbs that bother me the most. Like have different carbs, have different meats, have different veggies, not have the same thing all week long. I really like variety in my meals, and I enjoy cooking more that way, I enjoy eating more that way, and it's just how I prefer to do it. So it did take some time to set it up, but it really works for me. I love how it's planned, but it's also flexible and it's a nice balance. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think and how you meal plan, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.